Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. We're going to be doing the daily reading for Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. And today is a day that's ruled by the third eye and guided by spirit. And so some of you might remember when we talk about the white mirror energy, we're talking about this understanding of perception, right? Perception and truth, and how everything is actually a reflection of our own consciousness, right? And so we think that our perception of the world around us is influenced by and created by our experiences, right? However, if we look a little deeper, we understand that our experiences are actually created by our perception. Our perception dictates the experiences that we draw toward us. And so it's, as we're talking about it right now, it's feeling very much like a chicken or the egg kind of scenario, right? But it's very important to understand this and to work within this. And there's a quote by Carl Jung that I really, or no, it's not by Carl Jung. It's by somebody who studied Carl Jung. His name was Paul Levy, and I really enjoy this interpretation. He says, "The universe is a divine ink blot. We are the source of meaning of this ink blot. The universe is very malleable, and the way that we interpret this universe has a creative potency on how this universe manifests." And so that's something to keep in mind today and to think of, and to understand that because the universe is so malleable, every perspective creates another reality, creates another truth. And every truth is just as valid as another for that person, right? So it's a day about really understanding our own truth and how our truth is filtered through our perception, and cleaning the lens through which we look at the world so that it can be as clear as possible and we can be seeing with the most clearest and unbiased perspective possible. But it's also about honoring the perspectives and the truths of others as just as real and just as valid as our own. And that goes very well with the electric tone that we have today. The electric tone is about activation and service. It's about the potentiality when we have two, and that two then becomes a three, and how that's the idea of creation, right? The two creating the third. And so all of the incredible vast potential that is possible when those two energies cooperate together, right? Come together in service to create that third energy. They bond, and the action of creation is born. And so we're really looking at that energy today. This is the energy of the entire month as well. This is the electric moon of service month. And so this activate, bond, service energy is, so this day we're going to feel this very deeply, right? Because it is the tone of the month and it's the tone of the day as well. And the way that we can best be of service today is by looking into that lens, looking through that lens of our own perspective, of our own mirror, and understanding and how that is affecting all of our interactions, right? How that's affecting our experience of reality, and making that as clear, polishing that so it's as clear as possible. And when we interact with others, really honoring their viewpoint, honoring their truth, their perspective, and really continuing, as we always talk about, to bring it back to us. If something that they say or do triggers us, why is that, right? What is within my own perception, right, that is causing this to happen? And how can I continue to honor them at the same time that I honor myself? So just a slight mission that we have today. Shouldn't be too challenging, right? And the affirmation for the day is, I activate in order to reflect bonding order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of spirit. And this service tone is very appropriate today, as we have the moon currently in the sign of Virgo, as well as Venus in Virgo now. And so there's a lot of that service energy. Virgo is the sign of service, right? And so we are going to feel very, very drawn to act in that way today, or it is highly likely that we will. And so it's important to remember as well that service to self is also service to others, and vice versa, because we are all connected. So caring for the self is just as important today as it is every day, as it is to care for others in our lives. And with that Virgo energy, with the moon and Venus in Virgo, right, we are able to utilize that aspect of Virgo that knows how to create order, that knows how to really look deep into the heart of matters, to be introspective, to find and discover the truth, right? And we can utilize that energy to understand how it is that we can polish our own lens and truly see what it is that is being reflected back to us, right? Everything that exists in our reality is a reflection of what exists within our hearts. And so we can really utilize this Virgo energy to tap into that and to understand that on a deeper and more profound level today. And I'm feeling as though for a lot of people, the way that this energy may manifest is that we are going to be given those opportunities to see how the inward is reflected outwardly today. We have all of the aspects lining up that we're going to have for the new moon. And so I'm not going to talk about those too much. I am going to be doing the new moon video a little bit later. And so we'll be getting into all of these. There are some very challenging aspects coming up with this new moon, but it is all for our ultimate benefit as always. And it's going to be an interesting, the new moon's on the 16th. It's going to be very interesting seeing how this kind of ties together a lot of the energies that we've been experiencing for the second half of 2020 when it comes to our empowerment. So we'll get into all of that in the new moon video, which will be coming out later today, as I said. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty exciting stuff. Okay, what are we going to do for cards today? Sorry. Yes, it's been one of those days, you guys. I know this video is getting out a little late. I had to regroup and regroup and regroup today. And I mean, here we are. It's sometimes we may have plans, we may think we know what it is that's going to happen, how our day is going to flow, and the day has other plans, and we kind of just have to go with it. So we're here now, we're doing this now. I took off a couple days to go have some Halloween fun, and now we're back at it again. And it's been requiring a lot of rest this week. These past few days have been definitely draining. I can feel, I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that. And I'm looking at how the Mars is opposing the sun right now. And yeah, those squares are heavy again between Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. Yeah, nothing that Mars is doing out of the ordinary. I know, because we have Mars in retrograde. Sometimes that can be sapping to our energy. But I just think in general, I know yesterday was a portal day as well. And we had the 1010 portal. So it may be just coming down off of those energies too. It's been a lot of rest and recuperation that has been required. All right, so we have the Hunter coming out. Track down your fears and desires. What is it that you fear? What is it that you desire, right? And so this is perfect when we're talking about the new moon that's coming up, right? And how we're in the warm up of that energy right now, because it is about setting those intentions. And we are at this halfway period between the first full moon of the month and the second and final blue moon that we're going to have on the 31st. And so we've really been in this space of becoming more aware of what it is that we desire and what it is that we fear. These aspects, especially with Pluto being heavily aspected right now, with Mars about to go retrograde in Scorpio, or not Mars, Mercury about to go retrograde in Scorpio. This has been heavy on our minds, and this will continue to be heavy on our minds. And so just really the overcoming of those fears, right? The unveiling and the accepting of our desires. I'm feeling like a shadow energy, a heavy shadow energy with this card. Oh, and I opened right up to it. That's so weird. Okay. It says, track down all of your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you will find your desires too. The Hunter card is based on the favorite Celtic god, Cernunnos. He is the stag god of the wild and represents both the hunted and the hunter. Similarly, the hunter helps you connect with an energy that is both fearful and fearless. Your fears are the only thing that are standing between you and what you desire at this time. So you have come face to face with them, as the hunter does with wild animals, and go beyond them. Instead of being hunted down by your fears or other feelings that you have buried, become the hunter. You are being given confidence and strength at this time, so use your power to make a difference. You are not here to cower away or live in the shadows. You are here to realize your fullest potential, but this can only occur when you step up and do what needs to be done. When this card arises, there could be an opportunity to face an aspect of your past or bring closure to a situation that has been haunting you. If you are a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. If you are female or identify as female, this card represents your capacity to be strong and powerful and overcome limitations. Yeah, this is really interesting. So this is those all that shadow stuff that's coming up, right? As Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, with the Mars retrograde, right? With everything that we've had going on this month. And really this, like we said, that second half of 2020, and really those fears that are holding us back are being revealed so that we can move beyond them. And so that once we eliminate those fears, then we can also be honest with ourselves about our desires, right? And once we accept everything that we are, everything that we're not, and we move through this process of sifting through those layers and coming to the truth of who we are and standing strong in the truth of who we are, anything is possible, right? And I'm definitely feeling that energy for some of an opportunity coming up in order to find closure as well. That was in here, and I am feeling that if there's something that somebody feels like they need to do in order to move on, in whatever regard, in whatever capacity that is, do it. Any fears that are coming up for you to face right now, you have it within you to face those fears and come out triumphantly. And that's part of your lesson. That's part of what you're here to learn right now. And then we have winter, take care of your needs. And so this is kind of what we were talking about, right? With that self-care, that self-service versus service to others, and how they are one and the same, right? And we can't be fully of service to others unless we are fully of service to ourselves first. And so really caring for ourselves, this is that time where we sink into that cocoon, right? At least in certain parts of the world, like the days are shorter, they're colder, they're darker, and it's a time of introspection. It's a time of really going within, of nurturing the self, of like hibernation in some senses, so that we can be renewed. It's like that heavy hermit kind of energy. And so just really making sure that you are taking care of your own needs right now. And direction guardian, choose your path. Yes, as we are conquering not conquering, I should say, but as we are transforming and integrating our shadows, as we are overcoming these fears, right? We're learning this art of self-care in the meantime, right? We are coming up, there are going to be options, there are going to be decisions that we need to make. We are going to have choices. And so we're going to need to choose the path that we want to travel moving forward, right? The path of our truest desires being the most ideal path, right? Because our desires were placed there by spirit in order to guide us in this lifetime. And so, yeah, this energy coming through really strongly of needing to make a choice. And I'm feeling as though for some people, this sort of like paralysis or fear of making the wrong decision. And so just understanding that each path that is laid out before you has the potential to help you to grow and to help you to shift. And so don't worry so much about making the wrong choice. Don't allow yourself to be paralyzed, right? If you wish to seek out some guidance, your guides and your team are always there to help you. Even if you need to ask them to send you signs, send you synchronicities, help you to choose the path that is most beneficial for you at this time. But understand that every path is beneficial. There really is no such thing as a wrong choice, because we always learn and we always grow. And it's sort of like that GPS system, right, that constantly is rerouting us. So if we go off track to learn a different lesson or to have a different experience, we're always going to have that kind of like homing beacon inside of us that continues to draw us back to where our soul wants to be, right? But every experience is worthwhile, and every path is worth taking. Every road is worth traveling for as long as we're meant to travel it. Like we will gain something from everything. So don't worry so much about that. And just go with your gut, just go with your instinct. Just like we said, ask your guides for advice if you don't know what to do. Ask for those synchronicities. Ask for that guidance if you are feeling lost, and just know and trust within yourself that, first of all, you have the capability to know what is right for you, right? And secondly, like, you're never lost. You're never lost. You cannot make a wrong choice, right? There is, like we said, no such thing. So just make the next choice that needs to be made. And I'm being drawn strongly to the wolf energy again here too. And so it's like, for some of you guys, it's like in this season, it's that choice of like, do I become part of the pack, right? Do I find my pack? Do I run with my pack? Or do I become that lone wolf for a while and roam and have that solitary existence? What do I need right now, right? We were feeling that hermit energy. For some of us, the path that we're traveling may be a lonely path for a little while, and that may be necessary for our growth. For others of us, we have been that lone wolf for a while, and we are now finding our pack. And so that's going to differentiate. And for some, it's going to be finding the balance between the two, right? How do I feed and nurture my own energy and have enough time for the things that I need to do in a solitary sense, while still what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say integrating. That's not really it, but while at the same time still spending time with those that matter to me, right? With my pack, still being immersed in the energies of my community. How do I find that balance, right? And this is, again, going to be coming up with the new moon, channeling that new moon energy heavy today, apparently. Yes. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Traveler, moving a new direction. Yeah. So for some people, this is going to be moving away. For some people, this is going to be moving to. And for some people, it's like there's going to be a lot of new directions. It's going to feel like I'm picking up this energy of like, it's going to feel kind of crazy, because for some of us, it's like we're going to feel like we're headed in one direction, and then all of a sudden we're going to be routed in a different one. And it's going to keep, like, our direction is going to keep shifting. And all that means is that we are continuing to grow and to change, and just trust that. Trust wherever you're being led right now. For some of you, you are going to be moving, quite literally moving house. For some, there's going to be a lot of travel going on, and it's really interesting. It's so funny. It's so funny, especially like in the times of COVID, right, where they say we're not supposed to be traveling or whatever. And so, but I'm picking up the traveling vibe for a lot of us. I'm picking it up for a lot of us, and I say, go where you're called. Do not let fear dictate anything in your life. We are moving out of letting fear dictate, right? And this comes when it comes to fear on a grand scale, on a collective scale, as well as on an individual scale. So do not allow fear to deter you from your path, right? From where you are being guided to travel, where it is that you're being guided to walk, and how you're being guided to walk that path. And let's see, we'll pull one Wisdom of the Hidden Realms card to close this out for today. And this is also guidance too for people of like, if you make a choice, right? If you choose a path and then you decide that that path is not the path that you want to travel, you can choose a new direction at any time. You can be the force that chooses a new direction, that reroutes yourself, right? Like it's this, all possibilities are possible. This is a universe full of potential, right? We can always make a new choice. We can always make a new decision. We can always travel in and move in a new direction. So just know that any choice you make isn't set in stone. You can always make a new one. I mean, there may be consequences to our choices sometimes that need to be dealt with, right? But we can always consistently be making new choices. So I look at everything in my life, to an extent, right, as temporary. Like, oh, the place that I live, this is a temporary situation. Everything that I'm doing, right, because I know the only constant in life is change. And so when I'm making a decision, it doesn't have to be this huge, stressful, paramount thing, because I know that it could change at any moment. And my experience is going to continue to change as my perspective changes, right? As my lens gets clearer, the reflection is going to change as well. And so it's just embracing that and going with that and doing what feels right for me at any given time, and giving myself permission to change that anytime that I want. And you have permission to do the same. Give yourself that permission. Give yourself permission to change, to move, to grow, to fluctuate, to move in a new direction at any moment that you so choose. And then we have the Fire Prince, optimism and aggression. Interesting combination there. So this is like forcefully going after what it is that you want. This is that Mars energy. This is like Mars Jupiter energy that I'm feeling here, which is really interesting. It's like really having that creativity. I'm feeling a lot of creativity. I'm feeling a lot of expansion. I'm going to read actually from the book what it says about this. I feel like this plays in really well with the Hunter card that we got as the first card from the other deck. When the Fire Prince arrives as your ally, he lets you know that he represents the invisible forces behind all manner of manifestation, and he brings you the gift of optimism. You will be rightly inspired to move forward and take confident and assertive action to reach your goal. Yes. Envisioning the path of the highest good with an optimistic outlook, the Fire Prince also brings you the gift of a miracle. Things come together as if by magic to create the reality you seek. Ooh. You have every reason to be hopeful. Move forward knowing that you have everything you need and more. Just remember to share the enthusiasm. Believe in others and be optimistic for them too. And your good fortune will multiply. Yes. So always, right? Being in that state of gratitude for everything in your life, and also for the blessings in other people's lives, right? We always want to be supporting others when they're doing well. And if we are naturally in a place where we're not supporting them and we're feeling jealous or envious or any different types of lower vibrational emotions, we want to look at that and we want to see why that is, because that's showing us, like, if I feel envy for somebody, that's showing me that they have something that I want. And so I can gripe and moan about how they don't deserve it and I do, right? Or I can be like, okay, so I want what you have. Let me befriend you. Let me applaud you. Let me get next to you and show me how it is that you got that. What is it that you do? And I feel like with this energy, a lot of what they do is that positive energy, that optimism, that energy of celebrating not only their own successes, but celebrating everyone's successes as their own, right? I am you and you are me. My success is your success and vice versa. And just really being in that place of being open to communion, open to collaborating with people, open to whatever ways these blessings are going to show up in our lives. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Lady of the Mirror, reflection and non-judgment. And so that's perfect with this white mirror energy that we're experiencing today, right? This seeing how everything is the reflection, right, of our heart of hearts. And then from a non-judgmental place, a place of detachment, viewing those reflections in our reality that are mirroring back our inner states. The non-judgment is crucial because judgment blocks vibration. So really just looking at it curiously and being like, okay, that's interesting that I created that. What is that reflecting inside me? How can I heal that? How can I work through that so that I can reflect something else? So that I can create something else, manifest something else, so that I can have a new experience. And if any of you guys are struggling with this and you want some feedback, you want some advice, some clarity, I do personal readings. I also do incredibly powerful energy healings that can really help to move through some of these energies. So reach out to me. All of the services that I offer are in the description box below. Yes. Yes. And the Dream Walker. Dreams, the collective good illusions. Right? So we are in that collective energy as well right now, really understanding, dreaming that collective dream, right? And then the Phoenix, resurrection, surrender to change, just like we were talking about. That Phoenix energy coming through strong this month, you guys. You are that Phoenix. Allow yourself to be transformed. Do not resist the transformation. It doesn't work anyway. There are also links down below if you'd like to donate to my channel. Very much appreciated. Like, share, subscribe. All of that helps the channel grow. It helps these videos get out to more people that need them, that we trust they're always going to get out to exactly who is meant to see them. I love you all so very much. I appreciate you so much. Drop a comment. Let me know how this day is going for you. Let me know how this video resonated. You know I love to hear from you all. And I will talk to you soon. We'll be, like I said, getting that new moon video out very, very shortly here. Until tomorrow. Bye.